Big Sandy, you're here?
Hell yeah, I'm here. Fuck yeah. Sandy, you need to make the most noise and then
shut up. Let him start the thing.
And then jump around with your shirt off.
Andrew, scream. Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs Show.
Woo!
Yay. This is the Week 5 NFL show. First game on the slate. Philadelphia Eagles -5.5 at the Arizona Cardinals. The total is 49.5.
The Eagles have proven me completely wrong. I'm man enough to admit it. However, I'm picking Arizona to cover. Not to win outright, but to cover. You look at the four quarterbacks the Eagles have played so far: Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz, Trevor Lawrence. None of those guys are mobile or dynamic. I don't think Arizona's a great team, but Kyler will put some moves on him when he takes off and runs. So I like Arizona to cover. Eagles probably win by a field goal because they are a much better team than I anticipated. But Arizona at home +5.5, and I like the over, a lot of points to be scored. Sandy, it's your time to shine, big guy.
All right. Who's what game is this? Sorry,
Eagles versus Cardinals. No spread for you.
Two birds playing against each other. Two birds.
Two birds, one stone. One team's got to win on Sunday. It's honestly who has the more grit. Who wants it more? Lock the cage. One team comes out, one team doesn't. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a rock. It's gonna be a rock fight. We're just gonna see who wants it more. It's gonna be a fourth quarter game. It's going to be a fourth quarter game. But I honestly see the Eagles coming out on top. They're playing well. It hurts. It hurts so good. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a good game. I'm going to enjoy watching it, and go Birds. So as you can see, it's Martin Weisz and Ryan Postman. But Martin Weisz is talking now. I'm ready to go. As you can see, there's my background. And then when Ryan Postman talks, he's going to – yeah. Exactly. We're in each other's elements. Here's the game, right? I'm not touching the spread. It's going to be hopefully a good game. I don't know how good of a game, though, because I'm taking the under on this, under 49.5. The Eagles secondary is lights out. Darius Slay and JB, James Bradbury. Their defensive line is going to pick apart the already decimated Arizona Cardinals offensive line. And I don't know, maybe Jalen Hurts has a little bit of an off day. It won't hurt him once in a while. I'm taking the under 49.5. Here's Postman.
I've given up on Kyler. I think Kyler's terrible. And for that reason and that reason alone, taking Jalen Hurts -5.5.
I will follow because I was going to follow Martin because I have like the exact same pick as him. I'm not touching the spread at all. I'm only going under 49.5 just because there's too many variables with this game. I don't like picking teams that are undefeated. It's only week 5. It's early. I feel like the offenses are going to take a little bit of time to figure each other out. And as everyone said before, I feel like the Eagles are due for a little bit of an off week, but you never know. So I'm not touching that spread. But I'm only going with under 49.5.
Just ride with the Eagles. I also got the over.
Sean Rooney, are you in a dorm room bathroom or are you in prison?
That's my room.
Oh, that's
Don's in Shawshank right now.
I was about to say, you and Michael Schofield about to pop out of there, dude? Holy crap.
Are we allowed to take the first half spread?
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, I'm taking the first half spread. The Eagles, I don't know if people have been paying attention. The Eagles do not score points in the second half. They literally are a one quarter. They'll score all their points, and the spread is -3.5. And I'm taking the Eagles first half spread.
Eagles, I like them in this one. I think they're the best team in the NFC right now. They can run the ball and they can pass the ball. A.J. Brown has 404 receiving yards. Miles Sanders has 356 rushing yards. Only Saquon Barkley and Nick Chubb have more rushing yards than Miles Sanders. That's pretty damn impressive. The Eagles are number 1 in turnovers. They're number 1 in sacks with 16. They're ranked 3rd for defensive total yardage, and they're ranked 2nd in total offensive yardage. What does that scream? It screams balance. They're the most balanced team in the NFL right now, and that's why I look at this team. You look at the Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury came out in a press conference, their head coach, and he said the offense is anemic. Not my words, they're his words. If your head coach is saying that about your offense, what is that saying about your offense? It's saying that it's not there. Your quarterback came out and he says we're sleepwalking out there. I am not touching the Cardinals in this one because I think they are down in the dumps by what has come out by their players and coaches, and they're lacking a lot of consistency right now. Cardinals have not scored a first quarter touchdown all season. Eagles -5.5. They take the lead. I like it. I don't see the Cardinals competing with them offensively. Put it that way.
Conflicting stats. I'm gonna go Cardinals +5.5 because, like Sam said, you're not gonna go undefeated all year, and I think this is the hardest team they've played overall, and I think the Cardinals need this win, so I'm gonna go Cardinals.
So I'm gonna go with the Eagles covering the -5.5. They've held two pretty good offenses to below 10 points. They are playing probably the worst receiving core they've played so far. The Vikings have a good receiving core. Commanders have Terry McLaurin. The Lions, Amon St. Brown's playing great. So I think their defense is going to lock up. I'm also taking the under. I think it's going to be a low scoring. Both offenses kind of struggling. I mean, Arizona's defense isn't amazing, but Eagles are kind of due for a bad week.
I like the Cardinals. I'm going to go with Jake on this one just because I mess with Jake.
Thank you.
I don't know how Kyler Murray has been able to say he sucks is terrible. He has no weapons. I don't even know. His WR1 is what, Hollywood Brown?
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps these games close. I don't know how. So I'm going to roll with Kyler. Hurts is bound to have a bad game. I would also take the under too, but I'm going to take Cardinal spread and then under.
Okay, game 2 on the slate here. Scott's not undefeated with Cooper Rush. Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams -4.5. Totals 43.5. Scott, I was wrong last week. I picked the Commanders.
Thank you. That takes a big man to say.
You know, at the end of the day, we move on. We respect each other. The Commanders are dead to me now. Like I'm fully convinced that they're not a good football team, but I'm also still not convinced that the Cowboys are a good football team. Here's some data. I'll go first for this game. Cowboys 3-8 straight up in their last 11 versus the NFC West division. Cowboys are 16-5 against the spread since the start of last season, though. They're a good cover team. So, as much as it pains me to do so, I'm going to take the Cowboys +4.5 here, and that's all I have to say.
What a moment. I've been waiting since, I'd say, last year to hear those words come out of your mouth, man. You
That
say I'm
is
taking
astounding.
the Cowboys.
I still think the Rams will win, but I think the
My
Cowboys will
God.
keep it within 4.
Finally. It is oh my gosh, Tommy, I'll follow you on that great energy you just gave. Yeah, the Cowboys won 3 games in a row. Who saw it coming? Even as a fan myself, I was doubting my team's ability, and you should never do that as a fan, but it was hard to see because I don't know many teams that can go in there with their backup quarterback and win 3 games back to back. Very impressive. And Cooper Rush has created Cowboys history by becoming the first Cowboys quarterback to win his first 4 games. So pretty remarkable there. Look, we get Michael Gallup back last week, and you saw how much of a difference that made to this offense. The Cowboys defense is only allowed on average 1 touchdown a game. We intercepted Carson Wentz twice in the last game, and we kept their wide receiver 1 in this game, Jahan Dotson, kept him to 43 yards. When I look at this Cowboys team, as I said, defense is our identity. That's where it's at. I'm not going to talk about the Cowboys for too long. I'm not going to do that to all you boys. You've heard enough about them. But we shut out Washington for 2 quarters, and this has given this team confidence and belief by beating a team within the NFC East like the Commanders. Now we're looking at the division going, hey, we have a chance here. The Rams offense is flat. They've not scored a touchdown in the 4th quarter. It's Cooper Kupp or bust. I don't like it. Allen Robinson, you go out there, you give him a 3-year, $46 million contract, and he gets 2 receptions for 7 yards in the last game there. What's that about? Run's not a factor. Dallas will know the scheme. We'll be prepared. Dallas +4.5. It's the play, ladies and gentlemen. It is the play. It's right in front of you. Take it. Offensive issues with the Rams O-line as well. We've our backup quarterback, Cooper Rush. It could be a down week, but I don't know. I'm hoping that he stays in there and continues to pull out these miraculous victories. That's my rant over.
Scott, I'm just gonna jump back in here, change my card. I'm going Rams. Rams -4.5.
Oh, you're not doing that. No.
I've heard all I need to hear. Fuck the Cowboys. I'm back on Rams.
Scott.
I don't know if that was planned or not, but it's good content. It's good content, fellas.
I want to say I like Cooper Rush. I like what the Cowboys has been doing, but you can't pump anyone's tires after going and beating the Washington Commanders because it's just not impressive. And holding Jahan Dotson to 43 yards, it's like, okay, he's a rookie. The fact that that's your number 1 receiver is pretty embarrassing.
I'm not saying the Commanders are a great team. They're not a great football team, but look what this Cowboys team is doing. It's momentum, back to back to back wins. If we beat the Rams, we have now beaten the Super Bowl matchup of last year because we've already beaten the Bengals. Stop talking nonsense on the Cowboys. Give a bit of respect, lads. Bit of respect, please.
Okay, I have respect, and I'm also just going to say this right here. Can we stop picking Cowboys and Ravens games because I'm getting tired?
All right, well, I will say the Ravens play a lot of good games. The Ravens are just really hard to bet on, but this will be the last Cowboys game we pick this year.
Okay, I'm going Rams -4.5 and over 43.5. There's too much talk about the defense that the over-under is being tainted towards the under, and the total is way too low. I think there's going to be points. I think the Rams are going to come in a bounce-back win. That's my take.
Rams.
No disrespect to the Cowboys, but I've always believed in the Rams.
All disrespect to the Cowboys.
I wanna hype up Scott. I'm taking the Cowboys +4.5. You guys are talking like these other teams that they beat are so bad. The Rams average about 12.5 points a game so far. Matt Stafford's elbow injury is clearly bothering him. Cooper Kupp has 54 targets. The next highest wide receiver is Allen Robinson with 18. It doesn't matter if the whole entire defense, a ref, and 3 fans are guarding Cooper Kupp. He is throwing it to Cooper Kupp.
Mhm.
It's not he is the offensive player of the year, but you can't force it like that. He has to spread the ball around. This offense has been stagnant. Stafford looks like he's never played football before. The Cowboys defense has been playing pretty good. It's not great, but I am picking the under as well. I think that the Rams haven't been putting up big points. The Cowboys might not pick up big points. I like Cooper Clutch, but I am not thinking this is gonna be a high scoring game. So I'm taking the under. I'm taking the Cowboys spread. I think they're going to keep it close. I don't know who's going to win, but I think they're going to keep it in the spread, and I got the Cowboys.
I'm going to follow suit with Tommy. I actually thought the Cowboys were going to win, and then Scott completely turned me off.
Get the background on. Turn the background on.
Cowboys.
Now I'm nervous because I am also going to take the Rams. I can put the background back on, but all the viewers know. They know. Not touching the total, but Postman and Martin are on the Rams.
I don't really have any statistics to back this up, but what just happened 2 nights ago? The Rams got embarrassed, and Deebo Samuel's making fun of Jalen Ramsey, and the Rams are hearing all they can about Super Bowl hangover, everything like that. Cowboys are kind of in a honeymoon stage. Like, Cooper Rush is unbelievable. As you said, he's 4-0. So he's the only Cowboys quarterback ever to start 4-0. I just think that the Rams are pissed and the Cowboys are not. And they really want to make a statement. I swear to you, if the Rams had won 2 nights ago, I would have picked Dallas +4.5. But I think they lost and they're upset. I think that they're going to cover 4.5. Sorry, Scott, even though you did a hell of a job of preaching to me.
Yeah, I mean, I like the whole Cinderella story behind the Rush guy, but he's got to have a loss here and might as well be this game. So
I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Cowboys defense is legit. They remind me of the Steelers, last year when we didn't have much of an offense and their defense is carrying them to victory. Rams are stagnant right now. They can't seem to get anything going offensively. Like we mentioned, that loss last week, and that was embarrassing. I was high on the 49ers, but they are not the same team as they were last year. I'm also going to take the under. I don't see a lot of points being scored both sides of the ball. Like I said, Cowboys defense. And if anything, the Rams defense is still pretty good. Cowboys +4.5.
I'm going to pick the Cowboys. They're stopping the run well. They're filling gaps, knocking dudes' heads off. So team I really like. I'm going to pick the Cowboys. Go Scott.
Game 3 on the slate here. Sam asked for this game to be taken off slate, but because of that, I didn't take it off slate because we are giving you the hardest games, giving you the answers, giving you the money. So Bengals at Ravens -3. 48.5 is the total. We will go to Jake here. Lamar sucker. Go ahead.
They've only, in the 2 games they've lost, they've only trailed for 12 seconds. So they're choking artists. Their defense is not as good as it needs to be to win the Super Bowl, and I predicted they would do that. My most objective bet is the over. Who the fuck's getting a phone call right now? Sandy.
Why do you have
look at you giggling right now? I can see it. No, so my most objective bet is the over because I think it's going to be good weather in Baltimore, Sunday night game, 2 elite quarterbacks. I'm taking the Ravens because I feel like if they lose, then they're going to be like, all right, fuck it, we have serious problems. Because they could look at the 2 losses they have right now and be like, okay, the Bills are great and we lost at the buzzer on a field goal. And the Dolphins game, we just choked at a bad 5 minutes. But if they lose this game to an in-division opponent, and by the way, the AFC North, The Browns are 2-2. Their schedule gets way harder. The Steelers are starting tiny hands, and they play the Bills, the Bucks, and the Eagles, and the Dolphins are going to be 1-7. Sorry, Rooney boys. It's really Bengals Ravens, so they know they got to win this game, and I like them to cover -3. But again, my best bet's the over 48.5.
Jake, I actually have the same picks as you. I'll get it over quick.
Makes me feel so much worse.
Just kidding, Sam. I'm back. Normally, when I gamble good, my picks are bad, which I was gambling good lately. And when I gamble bad, my picks are good. So I'm purposely betting on shitty things just to get my picks back on track for the show. That's how much I care about the brand. I hope you heard that, Tommy.
Is that why you picked the Cowboys?
The brand right there.
No, that's why I picked the Rams, and I'll bet on the Cowboys because they're probably going to lose by a lot. I'm going with the Ravens -3. I think they can't lose that shit again, again like that. I think they're way better than the Bengals. It's in Baltimore. It's on Sunday. I checked, weather guy, yesterday. It's going to be 67 and sunny with very light winds in Baltimore, Maryland on Sunday. It is the Sunshine State is what they call Maryland. So I am taking the over. I think it's a good game for points to be scored. And I think it's a good game for John Harbaugh to get his head out of his ass.
J.K. Dobbins back. That's a weapon that they needed. He had a pretty good performance, and they needed him more than ever. So perfect timing. Lamar Jackson's still in the give me my damn money mode. He's playing absolutely unbelievable. So I think it's in Baltimore. Mark Andrews had his first bad week, so I'm sure they're going to get him involved. So I got them -3 in the over. I think Cincinnati's going to play up to their competition. I think they do that often. I think T. Higgins is having a great season, but it's very underrated because he's not as flashy as Jamar Chase. But he's actually, I think he has more receiving yards and on like less targets. But I know he has more receiving yards. I'm not sure if it's less targets. But he's having a very underrated great season. The Bengals offense is still electric, even though Burrow's been sacked 16 times, which is god awful through 4 weeks or whatever it's been. That's like 4 sacks a game. That's terrible. But the Ravens defense is okay. Their pass rush is not great. So I think he'll have more than his 0.5 seconds per game per pass to get the ball off. And I think the over is easy money here. And I think the Ravens have to win this -3.
I'll go opposite everyone. I'm going to take the Bengals +3. It sucks. I was sort of hoping the Bengals be bad again, but after watching their last 2 weeks, yes, they beat the Jets. Yes, they beat the Dolphins, but you're starting to see they're starting to click again. Joe Burrow over Lamar Jackson. I don't think the Ravens defense is that good, and Ravens offense again still looks one-dimensional. So yeah, I'm going Bengals +3.
I completely agree that their 2 losses are against the 2 best teams in the NFL. And Lamar is going off contract year. I'm taking the Ravens -3.
I don't know if you watched the last 2 games. Clearly, Tony and I did. The Bengals are back. Their offense is back. Not super sure about their defense, but their offense is always going to find a way to make sure that they're staying in the games that they're playing. So I think Joe Burrow goes off, Bengals offense goes off, and they cover. Also, love the over on this game. Absolutely easy pick. Over, Bengals.
All 4 of the Bengals games have gone under this year. I was going to take the under, but, and I don't want to do this just because Martin's really hot. But the fact that he's on the over is making me second guess it. So I think I'm just not going to touch the total. Some more stats here, though. The Bengals are 10-2 against the spread in their last 12 games. That's pretty remarkable. As well as the fact that the Ravens are 0-5 in their last 5 home games. And you think of the Ravens as like a pretty hard place to play. I think that I'm going to go Ravens here just because I have Lamar on my fantasy team and I'm going to root for him regardless. So I think I'm going to take the Ravens here. And I'm starting to slowly accept the Steelers are probably dead. And at this point, they're both AFC North teams, so it doesn't really matter. But I think I'll go Ravens here. They're the better team.
Leading off with my theory that Lamar's going to come to the Dolphins next year, I'm wishing the best or wishing the worst for the Ravens, actually. I hope the Ravens lose every game this year, so I'm going to take the Bengals. I'm sorry, Jake. I love Lamar. He's a great player, which is why he needs to come to the Dolphins, which he will. But I'm going to take the Bengals. I want to take the over considering the Ravens' defense is just horrendous and just gives up points left and right. I would take first half over, but other than that, I would take nothing else.
I like the Ravens in this one. The boys have said the Bengals are back-to-back wins. They're looking good. Super Bowl hangover seems to be a little less evident now, should we say? Wins over the Jets and the Dolphins, but the O-line continues to struggle. And like Coby was saying earlier, Burrow sacked 16 times this season. I mean, it's nearly going to be Andrew Luck 2.0 at this rate. It's really scary out there how many times Burrow's getting sacked. He can't continue to get sacked that amount of times without support. And they've tried to rearrange the offensive line and it's still not working. But the offense is finding its groove, and I will say that. But the Ravens are going to win this one. Why? Because they have Lamar Jackson. He's playing some of the best football of his career. But the secondary needs to be on its A game. Yes, the defensive front is good, but the secondary, I believe that the Bengals have the best wide receiver trio in the league, and they could get torched this weekend if they're not careful. So Ravens -3. They're at home, and it's a must-win divisional game. That's where I'm at.
I'll just talk about history because I'm a huge history guy. Bengals usually smoke the Ravens. They're smoking that Ravens pack. I got some stats here because everyone's bringing stats.
What history book is that in?
Relax. So Burrow, when playing against Baltimore, threw for 416 yards in one game and 525 in the other. So that is the history that I'm talking about.
The history of 1 year.
Okay, it's still a big history. Everything in the past is history. So, and then through 4 weeks, the Ravens are surrendering an average of 315 yards per game through the air. And with the Bengals' elite offense that they have, they're finding their groove, as Scott said. And they're going to take over. And Burrow's going to throw for 700 yards. So whoever has them in fantasy is probably going to have a great week. And I'm picking the Bengals as the team that I really like.
That was beautiful. That was poetic. I loved every second of that interview.
What about Sean?
Sean hates both these teams. He'd rather throw up than pick this game.
Yeah, Sean's hoping for a tie.
Nah, I'll go with the majority. I got the Ravens, and I'll ride the over.
Yes, let's go, Sean.
New segment on the show here, rivalry series game. We're going Sam versus Jake, Vikings versus Bears. You guys can decide who goes first. I'll let that be up to you. And then once you guys are finished, we'll just say in one word, either Sam or Jake, who we're agreeing with. So take the floor.
Jake, you're going first. I'm not letting you ambush me.
I wanted to let you go first.
No, because you're just gonna let me talk and then say that the Bears suck and then stop talking.
I was fully planned for Sam to go on like an 8-minute rant, and his conclusion would be, and that's why the Bears might cover. And I would be like, okay, so he's not confident at all. No, it's in Minnesota. Minnesota has not been great the last 2 weeks. However, they've won both games, finding ways to win. Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year favorite, taller Sean McVay. I fucking love what I'm seeing. Hey, listen, Kevin O'Connell does not murder his quarterbacks. Mike McDaniel, I'm just kidding. I'm not accusing Mike McDaniel of that. I saw Postman get fired up. I just wanted to throw a little jab in there.
You better be careful over there, Jay.
I'm joking. I like Mike McDaniel. He would never purposely concuss a player twice in 5 days. All right, here's the deal. So, listen, I like Kevin O'Connell. I love the Minnesota Vikings, obviously. I expect us to be 7-1 by the time we play the Bills, which is like 5 weeks from now. We got the Bears, we got the Cardinals, we got the Dolphins, we got the Commanders. All those are winnable games. Listen, the Bears, here's some just objectivity for real. How many points does Minnesota need to score to win the game? Like 12. The Bears offense is putrid, dude. They can't score more than 10 points.
They scored 12.
Minnesota has to get to is like 13 points, and it's game over. So I like Minnesota. If you want me to pick the spread, I think it's 6.5 or 7. I would go to 9.5. That's how freaking confident I am. And Sam's his head's ready to explode because he knows that's a good bet right there. Give me Minnesota. Give me the points.
All right, Bears are gonna win. Actually, I don't know if they're gonna win. They're gonna cover. All right. They're going to cover. You kept saying that, like, the Bears, like, beating them with 13 points or whatever, like, that's going to work.
That's all we need. That's all we need.
You need a little more than that. We put up 19 in a monsoon, basically a hurricane. No offense to the Floridians out here, all of you. But, yeah, there's not much I can, like, really say. Like, the offense doesn't look great. The defense looks good. If Jalen Johnson comes back, he's on Justin Jefferson, and Jalen Johnson hasn't allowed a completion for more than, like, 6 yards this year. And Adam Thielen has been pretty dormant. And so our secondary is pretty good. Jaquan Brisker, rookie, very good. Kyler Gordon struggled a little bit. But, it really comes down to if the Bears can score points. We saw Justin Fields air it out a little bit last week. You saw what he can do. You saw that arm if he gets a little time in the pocket. I'm going Bears +7. I'm not going to ride against my guys. And I think they truly can win this game. It's always a dogfight with the Vikings every year.
Sam.
Jake. Thank you. Sam.
Jake.
Wow, I'm so popular. Cam, you don't even need to talk, dude. I already know you're riding with me.
You already know.
Now watch the Bears win outright and watch me just cry myself to sleep.
All I'm going to say is that me and Martin are on the Bears, and Sam, that's a good side to be on.
It is
All
a
right.
side you want to be on, especially Sandy should have even gone. I already knew he was going to say Jake right away.
I kind of want to change it to Sam.
What does that mean?
Too late now. All right, time for the best part of the show, locks of the week here. I know that people want to go first, so whoever wants to go first, go crazy.
Let's get it, Tone. Get after it, Tone.
All right. First off, Tommy's probably going to say something that I can't pick this game, but I'm picking this game because I'm not picking any other game. The Steelers plus 14.
Yeah, Tone.
That is the lock. All right. Everyone's saying, we don't know because of the offense. The Steelers played the Jets last week with Kenny Pickett. The offense is significantly better with Kenny Pickett in. I'm not saying we're going to beat the Bills. I'm saying we can cover 14 points.
They're about 3 interceptions better. Sorry. Just had to say.
I'm just saying. The Steelers plus 14, that is the lock.
This actually works out that I'm going second because my my lock of the week is actually the Bills minus 14.
Ooh.
If Mitch Trubisky were in, I would say Cam, that's 100%. I'd put the mortgage on it. But
I don't think it matters at this point. Y'all might be the worst team in the NFL, honestly. I've picked the Steelers probably 3 consecutive weeks in a row. I texted Tommy every time I've picked the Steelers, and every time they've disappointed me. I can't watch this team anymore. It's actually sad to watch.
You were picking Mitch though. This is a different team now.
It's a new era. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you still lost. You still lost to the Jets. The new era started with the loss. I don't even think the era started, honestly.
I'll jump in here. So I cannot believe that this is the line for this game. 49ers minus 6.5 against the Carolina Panthers. And this hurts. This is me swallowing my pride. This is Jake basking in like I told you so moment. Baker has the lowest QBR in the NFL. Only has 1 game over 200 yards thus far, which is pretty incredible. Carolina is 6-17 straight up following a loss in their last 23. And the Niners are 5-1 in their last 6 games. I really like the Niners here. Unfortunately, Baker is probably bad, and he may not make the end of the year as the starter. But the Niners are hot. I think that a touchdown is more than enough. Could be 10, could be more than that. Could be 2 touchdowns. So give me the Niners minus 6.5.
When Tom and I were texting before the show, and he said that he couldn't believe the line was set at this, I thought we had the same lock. We didn't. Don't love his pick, but that's okay. I hope all my boys win their bets. Seahawks plus 5.5 against the New Orleans Saints is looking at everybody on this call right in the face. And if you don't have that on your card this weekend, whether you're on the show or not, have you guys seen Geno Smith? Fantasy football guru, started Geno Smith over Justin Herbert in one of my other leagues and scored like 32, 33 points. They are firing on all cylinders ever since they beat Russ. Am I happy that I'm picking a Pete Carroll-led Seahawks right now, plus 5.5 points? They're playing the Saints. Who are the Saints? Good for them. I guess they've been doing all right. But Seahawks plus 5.5. Final score is probably going to be like 21-20. Hopefully Seahawks are winning, but if not, they're going to cover the 5.5 point spread.
I probably should have the ice thing. Put that on.
Okay. Yeah, you got to take the fire off, Postman.
I wouldn't touch it.
I'm literally like not even doing it right now. The computer just knows. There we go.
There we go, baby.
That would have been bad juju. I'm not going to have that. People need to put some respect on the motherfucking Detroit Lions.
No.
Jared Goff is like the best average quarterback of all time. For that reason, I'm going Lions plus 3.
I have the Washington Commanders plus 2.5 over the Tennessee Titans. Brian Robinson is back from being shot, and he will lead the team to a victory.
Wow.
That was kind of funny.
I'm speechless.
Emphasize them being shot. Brian Robinson just got back from being shot. Points. 2 offenses are firing. And I mean firing. Josh McDaniels came into all he knows is how to score points. He doesn't know how to head coach a game. He doesn't know anything else. All he knows is how to run an offense and score points. And if we know anything, it's that the Kansas City Chiefs know how to go out there and score points. I don't know how close it's going to be, but there's going to be 50.5 or more points in this game.
I got the Jets Dolphins over. I think it was 45.5. I think that's pretty low to me. I mean, I know they're starting Teddy, but Teddy did win, I think, 7 games last year as a starter, which isn't great, but it's good enough. He's a game manager. He's also playing the Jets. So if there's a time where a backup quarterback is going to have a good game, this is prime time. He looked all right in his time, but he only played half the game. And I think with a week of preparation, he's going to look better. He had a nice bomb to Tyreek. So I think they're going to put up good points, especially against the Jets. I think the Jets look better with Zach Wilson. I mean, I don't know if he's going to catch a touchdown every game, and hopefully he never gritties ever again. But I think they look way better with him. I think Garrett Wilson is a pretty good rookie receiver. And I think their Jets are the best that they've been in at least the last 5 years. So I think 45.5 is pretty low, 46 points. It's like 23 points from each team. I think that's very doable in this game. And I got the over.
I'm on the Chargers -2.5 against the Browns. It's in Cleveland, but the Chargers are used to playing road games because they have no fans. Every home game is really a road game for them. And the Browns, I thought they would potentially get 9-10 wins this year, even with their quarterback drama, because their schedule in the beginning was so easy. However, they choked against the Jets in Atlanta. They're coming back down to earth. Their schedule gets way harder. I like the Chargers to go into Cleveland and cover the 2.5. That's my lock.
I consider myself a Clevelander since I go to school here, and that's a bad pick, Jake.
Over the last 12
Never
months,
doubt the
you've been a
Browns.
Giants fan, a Dolphins fan, and Cleveland fan.
He's a closet Bengals fan. Loves the Bengals.
You
Loves the
can't keep switching
Bengals.
teams. Like,
As a Clevelander, I can't go with that one, Jake. You never doubt the Browns. It's a city built on grit and just blue collar individuals.
Who made the rule you never doubt the Browns? They probably were in like a mental hospital. I don't know what they've been watching.
I am actually going to be taking the Jets +3 in this game. I'm sorry, Postman. I'm sorry, man. This is how it is, right? Teddy Bridgewater, I'm looking at it. Can he outscore the Jets? Look, he was shut out in the third and the fourth quarter against the Bengals. They didn't look great. They just kept kicking field goals with with Jason Sanders, the kicker. So I like the Jets. And I'm going to tell you why I like the Jets, because like Coby said, this is the best they've looked in a long, long time. Wilson comes back. He throws for 250 yards and a touchdown. They finally have a run game. Michael Carter and Breece Hall, 1A, 1B backs. That's where it's at, guys. They can run the ball. They can pass the ball. The Jets are at home. Yes, they have a makeshift O-line. They're down 3 of their starting offensive linemen, but they're at home in this one. And I think they win this one. And +3, guys. Okay, so maybe they don't win, but I think they'll cover. I like the Jets. They're Teddy Bridgewater. If Tua's playing in this one, the Dolphins win it, hands down. I'm not doubting that. But the Jets, I think they can pull this one and cover the spread. So I'm going to go Jets, which feels weird to say, but I think they stay within this one, and I think they'll be a surprise package.
Unbelievable. I'm not going to make a huge case in defense. There's really no point. They're definitely winning, and they're definitely covering, even without Tua. Zach Wilson is actually just bad. Like, he's just not a good quarterback. And for that reason, our defense, they just won't score enough. And we have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
All right. Postman, are you high?
We'll cut this out, but are you high?
He can't even turn the microphone on.
No, he looks. He actually thinks he's in Antarctica right now. He's like, whoa, it's cold. Whoa.
You just put on a sweater.
Like and subscribe. Let's enjoy this week 5 of football. Jake's coming in hot with his QB rankings next week, so stay tuned for that.
Sure am.